What's up, guys? I'm Dimitri with Canucks. As Computex comes to a close, you can probably hear a bunch of disassembly of all these boots. A very interesting and unique product we found here at Wooting, the Wooting One mechanical analog keyboard. Huge thanks to our Computex sponsors for sending us out here. Shout out to NVIDIA, Fantex, NCIX, and MSI. So this Wooting One, whatever you want to call it, we're going to stick with the slight D in there. The Wooting One is using a new analog switch, the Flaretech switches, which you have a pressure-sensitive activation that is recorded, let's say, in gameplay. So depending on how far down you press, the faster you move in game. And if you press just a tiny little bit, you're moving just a little bit slowly like this. Or, if I click it fast, like here, go back to the center. So that's the whole idea of the switch. Maybe it's going to sort of revolutionize the way we think about mechanical keyboards, but I'm happy that we got to try one. So the way the switch works is we have a light sensor. It's an infrared sensor going into a lens. Then it's bouncing back from this lens back into a different sensor. And depending on how far down you click the switch, the reflection is then recorded by the circuit board, and that determines how far the switch is down, so that it doesn't record on and off. It records the distance, and therefore it's treating the keys as an analog joystick. So that's the whole idea of needing to remap the keyboard and like your WASD zone or your arrow keys to the joystick controls, because when you connect the keyboard to a computer, it's not just detected as a keyboard, it's detected as a keyboard, as a controller, and as a joystick. Right now the Flaretech actuation is at 2 millimeters, so you do have to press quite a bit down for the key to start to actuate, and we have up to 4 millimeters where the switch sort of bottoms out. So that's the range. Now the cool thing is, because it's an analog, because it's an optical switch, this light readout, you can adjust the sensitivity curve of the switch. So for example, if you want the key to not absorb 100% of the light, you can set that. And also you can set the Flaretech switch to respond to how fast you actuate. So let's say you do a slow tap, that is a W, but let's say you do a double tap and that activates like a shift W. So there's multiple ways you can configure the switch, and that can also be configured with the pressure of how far down you press. Which is pretty awesome. Opens a ton of new possibility that we've never seen like that before. The limitations here is that the Flaretech, of course, there'll be some needed support from the developers of the game. So let's say if you have a double tap function, it will enable some different things aside from the key. It would be really cool to see sort of this type of implementation and support from the developers with the Wooting One. The switch is MX compatible, so you can replace the actual top switches. Since there is no mechanical contact, you can replace the optical switch itself, and with the keyboard you'll have multiple optical switches provided just in case you need to replace one, and they'll also provide you with a different feeling switch. So we have sort of the red Flaretech switches, which is a 45-gram switch, and we have the Flaretech blue, which has a little bit of tactile bump, which is 55 grams, so that users can choose whichever they prefer, either linear or tactile. The switch is rated at 100 million clicks because there is no contact versus 50 million on MX Cherries, and availability is in July. They're Kickstarter right now, about $130 and plus, depending on the configuration. So guys, this has been the Wooting One. In my experience, I like it, but you do have to adjust to it. For example, because of that 2 millimeter actuation distance, which is a hardware limitation for the switch right now, you do have to press the switch enough for it to start to actually go down and actuate. Otherwise, it's been quite cool to also play around with the switch without the keycap in there, or without the switch itself, so you can just see the light and you can move your finger up and down to move your character, and that's awesome. But guys, let us know what you think about this concept. Is this something that you would perhaps experiment with? Check them out and link down below. I'm Dimitri with Canucks. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.